left hands down on their knee. One of the first challenges that we have with violin and viola players is to teach them to hold that instrument up here on their shoulder with just their chin and not support it with their left hand. They'll need that left hand for lots of other things later on, so they can't be supporting the instrument that way. And first time it's up there, it feels kind of heavy and cumbersome. So they've done really well at overcoming that little initial problem. Next thing we do after we get the bow going is actually start incorporating the left hand using the fingers. We start one finger at a time. So the first song they learned, called the Seesaw Song, uses only first finger. So the next tune uses first and second for violins and violas, first and third for cellos, and first and fourth for basses. And this is hot cross buns. This is what they all had to demonstrate some little bit of ability on in order to be selected for a string instrument. And we do it on several strings so that they start getting acclimated to the whole instrument and finding their way from one string to the next. So this is hot cross buns. Too much more. We try to reinforce everything they've learned so far by throwing more tunes that just use the same fingerings and the same skills at them. So we do a couple of tunes, French folk song and Merrily We Roll Along. These basically use the same notes but in slightly different orders so that they get just a little bit more coordinated with their bowing and fingering. This is French folk song followed by Merrily We Roll Along. That involve more than one string for the song, so they learn the new technique of crossing strings with their bow as they're actually playing the tune. And you may notice that all of the songs that we use are familiar tunes for the purpose of allowing them to know, and do as well, if they're doing it correctly. So the next one is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, made famous by Mozart. And we're going to do first just the regular twinkle with their eyes closed to demonstrate that they do have it memorized. Sort of, for them, if you can really, it's sort of be like trying to ride a bicycle down the street with your eyes closed. You hope you don't get a bump or anything else. The second time through, we're going to do a bowing variation. There's a set of bowing variations on Twinkle. that requires it to be memorized in order for them to do the bowing variations, which allows them to put the focus of their concentration back on their bow arm so that they start getting some flexibility in bowing style. So we'll do the California Raisins variation on Twinkle also. Next we're going to play for you Ode to Joy, and we're going to play it through twice. Second time we break into harmony, so we'll try to start getting there just to listen a little broader than just the notes, but to start hearing chords and harmonies and play in tune with each other on different notes. So this is Beethoven's famous Ode to Joy. Different speeds and styles of bow stroke. So the next piece is a country fiddling tune called Violin Cabbage Down. We'll play this twice also, and they harmonize the second time. last week, is the D scale. And as two music students this year, they'll be learning lots of scales and how music is built on scale. And so the D scale is their very first scale. In preparation for their last song, we're going to play the D scale, first in unison and then in a three-part round. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Their very last tune, which is called Going Stronger Every Day, which is built on the D scale. That I have an updated private teacher list over on the counter if you have any interest in exploring that for your students for the rest of the summer. And I want to say it's been a real pleasure to work with them this summer. I think they've come from nowhere to somewhere in a fine fashion. And I look forward to working with them during the school year next year. So there's only one thing that I love more than teaching the kids, and that is summer vacation, which starts at noon for me today. Thank you for all coming to see me off, and have a good rest of your summer. Thank you.